Let's go to John, who's calling from Minkwon, Wisconsin, on the Democratic line. John, good morning.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, John.
Okay, I just want to say to this guy, this morning, a Trump supporter was shot and killed in a drive-by in Milwaukee. I don't know if you got that news, but the people in Milwaukee are waiting for those troops to come in because they got weapons, and it's going to be a lot of bloodshed when they come. So that's all I got to say.
What's that supposed to mean? So now you have people on your air threatening our lives? Is that what it is, Jesse?
Let's keep going to Chris, who's calling from Oceanside.
I don't think we should keep. I mean, he just had a caller call in and said that that shooting Trump supporters is right. I mean, anybody who's a Democrat or independent should listen to what that gentleman just said and realize where the Democrats are in this country. They're threatening our lives. It is disgusting, it's despicable, and it's criminal. And that sounded like a threat against the president and his campaign. I hope the Secret Service investigates it.
Sharon, who's calling from Minnesota on the Democratic line. Sharon, good morning.
Good morning, Jesse. Thanks for taking my call. I'm hoping that this gentleman remembers just a couple weeks ago in, can't remember the city, where them two crazy lunatics came out of their house with AR-15s and pointed them at non-Trump supporters. But, of course, we tend to forget them kind of things. But anyway, a few seconds ago, the gentleman here made a comment that Hillary has yet refused to accept this election, and we know that that is not true because she did call the president on the night of the election. And I think this whole fact that the Republicans suffer from OCHD, which of course is obsessive compulsive Hillary disorder, because I think this gentleman here has, I don't know how many times, talked about Hillary. So we need to get on that. And, sir, I mean, you want to cry about this Trump supporter that died. I agree. I'm a Democrat. I think violence is awful. But what I also think is awful is that 140,000 Americans are dead because of this president and his inability to deal with a conflict. And I can only hope and pray that we do not see this man go into the Oval, but we see him come out in an orange jumpsuit and shackles and chains.
Go ahead and respond there, Boris.
Well, good luck with that. You can keep hoping and praying. A couple things. First of all, the couple in St. Louis came out on their own lawn. That's what that woman was referring to. They came out on their own lawn with their own rightfully owned firearms, protecting themselves from a mob that broke it into private property. That's what it was. They didn't shoot anybody. They didn't hurt anybody. So I'm not sure how anybody in their right mind can equate that with a Trump supporter being gunned down. Those are two completely separate things. That couple in St. Louis did everything right, and they should not be prosecuted. I know that they were charged by the local district attorney, but the district attorney of Minnesota, the attorney general of Missouri, the attorney general of Missouri has come in and said that was political prosecution and that should be thrown out. So that's in terms of the couple in St. Louis. In terms of Hillary, of course she hasn't accepted it. Hillary's still spinning that Russia hoax. Anywhere that she goes, she talks about it. So, well, it was Russia this, Russia that. Well, guess what? 3 years of investigations by the House, the Senate, and Mueller all came up with absolutely nothing. So Hillary has not accepted the election of 2016, but it did happen. The president got elected. He's going to get elected again. And then lastly, on COVID-19, I'm not sure where the left has gotten these talking points of the president somehow not being fully involved and leading on our efforts to battle COVID-19. This virus came from China. President Trump has done everything he could, from stopping travel from China, stopping travel from Europe, the vaccines, respirators where they were needed, sending the floating hospitals to New York, to California. And Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, Democrat Gavin Newsom, commended the president for that, as did Governor Cuomo in New York. So this notion that the Democrats have convinced themselves of, that President Trump is somehow to blame for this plague, is absolute, total, and utter nonsense.